Ashley Gilnack, Irish dancer, here at Mahoney's Irish Pub. I'm Michelle Barone, and it's St. Patrick's Day week, and we're here having fun in the spirit. Can't wait to eat some really great food, corned beef and cabbage, some shepherd's pie. Mark, what do you think?
I'm excited about it all, and happy St. Patrick's Day week. Very excited to have one of our good Poughkeepsie friends here with us today.
Yes!
Lorenzo Angelino.
Lorenzo!
Office of Lorenzo Angelino. Thanks for joining us
Welcome.
today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I've known you for a little while now. I know you love food.
Yes.
So it was fitting to have you come to an early lunch for us here today.
Yes, absolutely.
On Monday.
And to have some Irish fare. Can't wait to see what they're going to be serving this whole week for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, here at Mahoney's, and of course, it's the best place to get Irish fare.
Absolutely.
Mahoney's.
And absolutely the best place to be this weekend for St. Patrick's Day. So let's talk a little bit about you, Lorenzo. I know you've practiced law in the area for some time now. Mm-hmm. What are some of your specialties?
Well, I'm a general business attorney. I do business law, trusts and estates, and one of my main focuses or niche areas is liquor licensing. Ooh. So I have a lot of restaurants that are my clients, and I do a lot of restaurant law and liquor licensing law.
Well, how fitting that we're here today.
Exactly. And recently you did a liquor license for a local brew pub?
Yes, I actually have a few local breweries that I've been working with recently. And they're all, there's a couple down in Beacon that I work with. And so liquor licensing goes not from just restaurants and bars, but also the wholesale, which is the breweries, the wineries, and even some distilleries that are popping up here in Poughkeepsie as well.
We love distilleries.
We like to hear that. And the process isn't it can be complicated, which is why it's important that you involve attorney, right?
Yeah, it's not the most straightforward thing. It's a lot of forms, a lot of documentation to collect, and everything's got to be in order. I like to get clients right from the beginning because I do the business setup, mm-hmm. and that all has to be done correctly. And then filling out all the documentation for the liquor licensing, making sure everything's in order mm-hmm. before you even submit to New York State. Because if you do it in bits and pieces, it just drags out the process.
Yeah.
So when you hear these horror stories that, I heard it takes months, almost a year to get a liquor license, and that's most likely that person didn't use an attorney. So when you don't, it does drag out. And when people need to be open at a certain time and want to have a grand opening by a certain date, it's best to use an attorney that's knowledgeable in liquor licensing to help them out with that.
How long does it typically take you to get a liquor license?
It can vary, but generally I say from the time that we submit the application, collect everything from the client, put it all together and submit the application, I'd say roughly 45 days.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
And then there's a temp that is even shortens that. So you could get a temp in the interim, so if you want to have your restaurant's all set up, ready to go, mm-hmm. But you want to open with a liquor license, we can have a temp that can be, as short as 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So and it's a process that if they try to open a restaurant without a liquor license, sometimes that might not be the best grand opening. You want to have your full everything there. Mm-hmm. So that's why it is important that restaurants, and especially you can't really open a bar without a liquor license. So.
And when you're working with these restaurant owners, this is often the beginning of a longer-term relationship mm-hmm. with you and those owners, right?
Yeah. So restaurants, most of the time they have a lease that they have to work out. So and also, the liquor license, then you have employees that you want to make sure everything's done mm-hmm. Correctly with, your employers and stuff like that. And, if you maybe hire me at the end of the process, maybe just for the liquor licensing, you may have something in that lease that might not be beneficial to you. And we see it all the time. Like restaurants like Mahoney's, obviously very successful, been around for a long time. But you see restaurants here in Poughkeepsie in the Hudson Valley that one day they're here and suddenly they're closed. And you wonder why. Why weren't they successful? Sometimes it's just the business. Sometimes it could be the costs of the lease. Maybe they didn't know, didn't see some hidden costs in there. And that's what I do, is I break it down for them and hope that by counseling them in advance, they're not set up for failure.
Yeah, we say this all the time. I think you have to surround yourself as a business owner with the right group of professionals to support your business and its growth.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What does it cost for a typical license?
Oh, it really depends. New York State has, especially with the new farm breweries and farm wineries, they have reduced the cost a lot.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Because they're trying to promote that. The craft beverage industry, especially in the Hudson Valley, is growing. And New York State, one thing that they have done is they really made it beneficial to promote the use of like the products here, like the farms, and promote the farms and the ingredients right from New York State. And you get so many incentives. So that's been drastically reduced in just these last 2 years.
Wow.
It's been great. Restaurants, a full restaurant license like this one here, you're talking, the application fee is $1,992. That lasts
specific.
2 years. It's very specific. And
Wonder how they came to that number.
And then, of course, wine and beer is less than that. So, like, if you're just doing wine and beer versus the full bar, the license fee is actually $640. So it's less than that. And
What are some of the complications that business owners run into throughout this process?
well, a lot of the times, business owners get loans from friends or something like that, or they take out different types of loans from banks. All that has to be disclosed. So when you're getting a liquor license, New York State wants to know, where did you get that money to open that liquor license? Because there are some disqualifications. You can't be a felon and have a liquor license. You can't be a police officer and have a liquor license.
Interesting.
Can't be under the age of 21 either. So there's a couple disqualifications in there, and they want to make sure that the person that's applying is not just taking someone's money that can't have.
You're going to be very excited, Lorenzo.
Oh, we have some food here.
Oh, wow.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but
Corn. He got the corned beef, huh?
she got the bangers and mash.
Yeah,
I told you that was going to be big enough to share, Michelle.
I never even heard of this before, but I'm in.
This is the shepherd's pie.
All right.
I'm excited about it.
Let's do it. I got some delicious bangers and mash. Can't wait to try it.
And this is your first time, and I have to say, Michelle, that is great looking.
Yeah, I've never had this before.
The problem is it's so early in the morning right now. I don't know how you're gonna get through the rest of your day.
You know what? I'm gonna probably take some back with me for lunch.
I'll help you with the leftovers. And I had to go with the essential corned beef and cabbage, a must-have on St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
And it's always delicious here. Always delicious here. So as I'm eating this, Lorenzo, I'm thinking to myself that you're very involved in the community in the area, and one of the things that you do is food stock. And it's, well, why don't you explain the...
Sure. So food stock, I actually started it 10 years ago now.
Wow.
It's a fund. Me and a friend of mine, Ryan Michael, we started throwing concerts for charity. We love music. I'm a big lover of music. And here at the Chance in Poughkeepsie, and all the proceeds we would just donate to the food bank of the Hudson Valley. We added on the Children's Home of Poughkeepsie, where we pay for the Thanksgiving meal, because the concert always falls around Thanksgiving, the holiday season. And so we pay for the Thanksgiving meal and all the foster families' meals there.
That's
at
amazing.
The Children's Home. And then we also collect food at the show for Duchess Outreach.
Oh, wow.
Which is another great organization in the area.
It is
We
great.
love Duchess Outreach.
And so we've been throwing this concert. This year is actually going to be Food Stock 10.
10!
Yeah. So it's
I can't believe that's been 10 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's crazy.
How did you come up with the idea? Where did this come from?
Well, it was actually, we did a concert before we started with Food Stock. The Hurricane Katrina happened, and we wanted to do some kind of donation. So we put the concert together, a few local bands, and we made a donation to Habitat for Humanity in Louisiana. But we said, this was so much fun and very rewarding. Why don't we bring it something local that we can just continually do? And that's where Food Stock came from. It's like, there's a lot of people in the Hudson Valley with need for food. And we figured, why not just keep on giving back, especially around the holiday season.
Do you know how much you've raised in total, or?
Oh, in total, cash-wise, it's around $45,000.
Wow.
But every year we have a truckload of food. So we fill a truckload of food that we give to Duchess Outreach. And every year I also go and serve at the children's home. I do Thanksgiving morning. I go there. We do a nice big buffet for all the children.
I always see your Facebook post.
Yeah. So and then we added later on. We added a second event called Laughing Stock, and that actually happens
one of my favorites,
here.
by the way.
Yes, Michelle's
I always
been there.
go every year.
I love comedy.
Yeah. It's here in Mahoney's at the Laugh It Up Comedy Club. It's actually going to be April 1st, so a couple weeks from now. And all the proceeds from that, we just put right into the fund, and we, hang on to it and use some of that for the expenses to pay for Food Stock, which we continually grow the fund. And then at the end of the year, we just donate all of it.
That's so outstanding that you put those two programs together. And I have to say, it was great learning a little bit more about liquor licenses, because it's something that I think there's a lot of new restaurant owners that are looking to, especially with the culinary in the area, looking to start up, and they need some advice. So certainly a great resource.
Yes.
So Lorenzo, I want to thank you for joining us today and having lunch with Michelle and I. It was great.
And I have to say, this food is unbelievable.
Food is outstanding.
I might need to try yours too, just because I'm trying to get my variety of Irish fare going on. We'll do that later, though.
Have at it, Michelle. It's a big plate. To everybody out there, please come check out Mahoney's this weekend for St. Patrick's Day. It's always the place to be.
Always, and the food is amazing. Thank you again, Lorenzo.
Thank you.
Keep it going. We love having you here in the Hudson Valley practicing, so thank you.
Thank you.
To our audience, we'll see you next week.
Yes, so check us out on Monday, 8 a.m. on wakeupRhinebeck.com.
Take care.